or not the leading cause, the leading symptom of high blood pressure is sudden death. Now I'm not sure how clear the sound was in that, so I'm gonna repeat that. The leading symptom of high blood pressure is sudden death, and that's why one of the reasons why they call it the silent killer. And sometimes people believe that there's heredity issues that deal with physiological or psychological ailments when it can be driven by uh, family origin, dealing with the way that they were raised and habits they developed, good habits, bad habits, that kind of thing. How about that? So that's food for thought, and that is a new playlist that I developed, and I keep adding to it because there's so much that I want to show that I can't show uh, because my other playlists are filled up. So I keep on adding to that for your learning pleasure. And what I found out is that the information that I suspected to be true actually is, having to do with nutrition, grounding, lifestyle, and dietary choices that either lead to health or conversely disease. So largely people are dealing with the consequences of lifestyle and dietary choices, financial choices, all of that. They all converge so that if people are choosing to have an expensive toxin as a safety net or a blanket or their pacifier, then that can have cataclysmic effects. If they're substituting, a good example would be something that I did, traded healthy nutrition for alcohol and cigarettes and marijuana. That wasn't good. Now that's been over 40 years for that kind of a diet. However, when we look around, people are dieting on all kinds of things, in some cases, false information. And they don't want to hear it. If they don't like the idea that I'm not promoting their, or that I'm outing their favorite vice or sin, then they may just want to scroll on by and unsubscribe or not listen to the rest of it. And that's part of the challenge with disseminating truth through a society that is filled with so much deception. People don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to consider it. I got a... That's about 120 decibel sneeze there. Anyway, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about too is that information that we consider has biological effects on us. What we think about actually has strong effects on how we live. Now, one of the other benefits that Gary was talking about, and it's being talked about in a lot of health and wellness circles, is the red light or the early sunlight. I get it often. It has to do with setting the circadian rhythm. We're photoelectric, bioelectric beings. And how does that all work out? Works out great if we give the proper nutrients, elements, and building blocks for those neurotransmitters to operate on. One of my favorite nutrients, actually two of them, hydrogen and oxygen, liquid hydrogen and oxygen. I put my water in the sun in glass. It heats up the water. It swells up the volume of it. So a gallon of water, the weight of a gallon of water changes, or any volume of water changes with temperature. You can explore that if you like. So there's this category of information that we don't know about, and there's lots of it. I keep learning every day. Gary Brecker worked with large insurance actuarial tables and was seeing, he was very good at estimating life expectancies of people. And he was forbidden from contacting his clients or the people that he was evaluating or estimating their lives. He was forbidden from contacting them and suggesting lifestyle choices or changes. Well, he talked about it in '08. There were a lot of bank failures, but no insurance companies failed. How about that? However, more recently, you can listen to Edward Dowd talk about cause of death unknown. It could be anything but the obvious, and you can fill in the blank. This is April of 2024. We've had 4 years of some pretty weird categories of information happen. A lot of the cause. He wrote a book, The Cause of Death Unknown. You can listen to it, look at it. We've got a system of control that has been designed, this battle between good and evil, and apart from divine intervention, man is hopeless. Man, woman, children, hopeless. So where will you spend forever and why? I believe God determines it. I'm going to have this be a rather short broadcast. It's part of our shared simulated reality. I'll look at it when I get home, see what I think about it, if I like it or not. There were a lot of clouds out there today, and it was windy and cold, so I didn't want to spend much time out there, so I didn't. And I just felt I was on my way into the IGA to see if I could get any bargains this morning, and I actually laughed out loud when I heard Gary Brecker talk about the leading symptom of high blood pressure is sudden death. And it's like, how ironic is that? And that's why they call it the silent killer. People don't realize that it's not a heart problem. Although it could be, it can be a circulatory problem where they're vasoconstrict. They may have constricted vascular system that's increasing their pressure. They may grab a woody pill, something so they can have extended sex or sex at all, and it blows their heart out. Wow, you get a heart on and a heart attack. How about that? By the way, this isn't for children. You're not going to hear it in front of a church. None of that. That's not how I roll. What I'm finding out is that there's an irony between the reality and the tragedy in which humor lives. And so that's why when somebody says something that resonates and we laugh out loud, it's tragic. Somebody significant to me just mentioned how they were going to have their medications adjusted, and who knows where that's going to go. I don't buy into the whole medication system. I'm a suicide survivor, suicide attempt in 2005, and I've been on ever since I was actually born again in 2014. That's what I was lacking. And I didn't necessarily have the chemical imbalance that Big Pharma talks about. I did have nutrient deficiencies. More important than that, I had a lack of power. I needed more power. I needed protection and direction from the Almighty, which I now have, and that's why I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. How about that? If somebody's not prepared to die for what they believe in, I'm convinced they haven't found what the truth about this all is. The me that I am that's animating this body is actually the Holy Spirit living through me, expressing himself through me, and he lives in and through all of his children that are born again now or ever have been. And then there are some that will be born again. They may have not been born the first time. How about that? The other day I was on my way home, and the traffic was all backed up on the way, on several of the arteries leaving the area. It looked like this, but going in the other direction, which was abnormal. What was it? I don't know. It might have just been a lot of people wanting to go at the same time. Imagine if we have a catastrophic event happen. How can you reach out to family members? You might want to look at digital communications. It may sound kind of ironic. I'm on an iPhone right now, and I'm on WhatsApp, Skype, and Facebook Messenger. You might want to have those digital communications pathways worked out. I was able to do a long distance phone call or a long distance digital communication to, let's see, it was to the United Kingdom with an iPhone Plus. It worked out really well. So I recommend that everybody consider options, having important numbers written down. And so the way that I did that with my iPhone Plus was I linked up with the Starbucks Wi-Fi. It was free Wi-Fi at the time, and I had my iPod, or it was an iPod Touch. That's what it was. So I was able to, instead of paying $2 a minute, it was free. iPhone to iPhone digital FaceTime audio or video is free. Skype is free with an internet connection. Just saying that those are options you may want to consider. The system is talking about cyber attacks and phone lines being cut and all kinds of high strangeness going on. So what are we going to deal with, and how are we going to deal with it? Imagine if you had MacGyver living with you, or rather than that, MacGyver, for those of you who don't know, he was able to improvise on the fly. Real good at that. So I'm real good at improvisation, not just in speech, but in practical application of what I know, what I've studied, and how to apply it in real time. How does that work out? I could have, if I wanted to, hit the button and get into my garage, even if the grid were down. I've got my garage door opener operating on my inverter and deep cycle batteries that could also, if I needed to have them, power my freezers. And the reason for that is I have redundant contingency plans, all of that. So you can reach out and call me anytime if you like. That's why there, I can see that better now. And the phone number is out there, not just for you, it's for anybody who sees it. I've got all kinds of stickers around for that as well. There's the Arithmobile and the Truth Cycle. I've got a different way of marketing with this. I'll just have the my sticker on my tank, a little bit more subtle for the bikers. And there we go, we've got that too. I'm not doing as much with the surfboard on the beach. It's a lot to lug around, and I prefer surfing the web rather than surfing in the ocean. I'm just not good at it. I'm better at riding the motorcycle. I enjoy that. But this is all actionable information. It's not a me show, it's a we show. I've got all kinds of truth on my channel and exposing the deceivers. So you can find it all there. Feel free to reach out anytime, and there you go. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. What will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? So that's why I do this. The truth matters. The more important the question, the more important the accurate answer or the truth about it is. So, if we were spinning 1,000 miles an hour, the water would be flying out of my bird bath, out of toilets, out of water glasses, out of swimming pools. Fact of the matter is, we ain't a-moving. The earth doesn't move, it's stationary and level. That's the truth about that. So there you go. Thank you so much for your public encouragement, public and private. And where in the world could a wind chime hang upside down in relationship to other wind chimes? I've got this here in case somebody wants to come in the house. I can say, hey, give me a call. I don't feel like answering the door right now. Could be like that. No telling what's going to show up on our doorstep. It's an option. It's one I'm practicing. So there you go. Thank you so much for your encouragement. I hope you enjoy the channel. And the research library includes all the different platforms I'm either on, will be on, or was on. You could tweet my channel to Elon Musk. You'll probably get shut down though. He's not happy with me, apparently. Too bad. Too bad, Elon. Where are you going to spend forever and why? Who's your daddy? So in this battle between good and evil, we've got Satan's children and the Almighty's children. We don't really decide who our parents were or whether or not to be born again. I believe it's a discovery to find out, was our name put in the Lamb's Book of Life? Are we one of the Almighty's children? That's something to look into. I highly recommend it. So the reason that some people would say, well, why do you do any of this then? I'm simply obeying the Almighty, doing what I'm created to do, and I encourage everybody to do that. So there you go. Thank you so much.